I'll go as well. Request permission from the meeting host.
Ah, sorry, I need to make you co-host. Yes, yes, yes. All right.
Your co-host. For this meeting. Okay. Well, let's see. People probably will continue coming in, but that's fine. So Guy and I wanted to take this opportunity to say welcome to everyone. It's nice to see many of you, and we wanted to say a couple of words about the workshop, mostly logistic stuff, but just to give a little bit the feeling of what the workshop is. First of all, we're very happy to see you all. There was a great enthusiasm for the workshop, and many people to participate and submitted contribution and are going to contribute to the discussions and the talks, so that's great. And we're both very excited and looking forward to the many interesting discussions that we will have with you. So a few points. So originally we thought this workshop would have been like just Guy and I in a room talking, and then we said, well, it would be great to have this and that person, and then this and that person, and it became much bigger. Nevertheless, what we wanted to still strive to achieve was to get that small hands-on workshop feel, and that's how we try to set up the tech to facilitate that feeling, so that everyone can feel like they're having direct in-person interactions, learning something, giving their point of view. And so I'm going to make a few points about how the workshop is organized and a few points about the logistics. So as you have noticed, you didn't have to get on an airplane to get here. So this is a virtual workshop. So it's based on a few different pillars. Pillar number one was that many of the contributions were submitted beforehand in the form of pre-recorded talks. And many of you were kind enough to submit a talk of some of your recent work. All of those pre-recorded talks have been collected on a YouTube channel that have been seen by many of you, as we can see from thanks to YouTube Analytics. And a link to that is on the webpage of the conference. So if you have missed some of the talks or weren't aware of this, there is a dedicated YouTube channel with all the talks that will be discussed during this workshop. On top of that, we ask all people who have submitted a talk or will give a talk to upload the slides of their talk to the same Google Drive where you uploaded the talk, so that other people can go through your slides without having to browse through your talk, which might be a little bit faster. And several people asked for that, so please do that. The other pillar of the workshop is this Slack channel. Many of you have already found it. There is also a link on the front page of the workshop. So in Slack, when you open it, it's called Cosmological Correlators, and there is a link inside. There are 6 main channels. Every channel is dedicated to one of the 6 live discussions that we will have during the week, 2 per day. And every one of the pre-recorded talk has been attributed to one discussion. So if you want to see one specific talk, you see to which discussion it has been attributed, and then you can follow the Slack channel for that discussion. And there is where you can put questions directly to the speaker or to other experts about the talk or about anything else that you think is pertinent. There is also a general discussion, although I think maybe that has attracted less attention. And there has been ongoing discussions on the many seminars already for a few days. So if you're interested in something, you can search by topic or by person, and you can see certain threads have already received a lot of comments and discussion. The third aspect of the meeting is that we are actually talking to each other synchronously, and so it is this Zoom meeting, which in some sense will continue for the whole duration of the workshop. The link is also on the webpage, and it's accessed automatically the moment you enter the seminar room on Sococo. More on that in a second. We will always use this link, so it should always be the same Zoom link for all the next 3 days. You shouldn't need a password. We ask everyone to mute their mic unless they're talking or unless they're about to ask a question, so that the seminars and the discussion can proceed without disturbance. Finally, I wanted to say just two more words, and then I'll leave the floor to Guy for further discussion, is that the format is going to include every day 2 live talks, followed by a discussion, as well as a general discussion at the end of every day, where anyone is free to bring in various topics. So we will have talk 1, and then the discussion. The discussion are focused on a very specific set of pre-recorded talks. And there will be a discussion leader for every discussion that will remind us what the talks to be discussed are, and we'll try to facilitate setting up certain points for discussion, open questions, and bringing in the expert to give their opinion. Finally, the real news that people are not used to is this Sokoko, but I'll let Guy discuss that and a few more points. Sorry, one thing before I forget, I want to acknowledge the financial support of the GR group here at Dent at the University of Cambridge for paying for part of the cost of this workshop. Thank you. Guy, all yours.
All right, thanks, Enrico. Yeah, so I just have a couple of things. Well, welcome everyone. I hope you enjoy. It's been fun organizing and watching the pre-recorded talks. And there's already some discussion going on Slack, so I'm just echoing Enrico here. So yeah, just this Sokoko has a little bit of a learning curve. So let me just share my screen perhaps and just say a couple of things. Yeah, so as you can see, everyone has already learned that you must walk to a certain room. So someone actually just entered. So you always enter through the lobby, and you double click to go to a certain space. When you get to a space, then you have this icon here. I hope that is flashing, the icon of this Napster thing, the Sokoko icon. So if you click here, you have the option to turn on your mic or turn on your video, and then you can have small chats within certain offices and rooms. So I suspect that after the main part of the workshop, if you want to have more focused discussions among certain people, you can go to an office and use that. Our recommendation is that if it balloons to more than 4 people, then Sokoko is not so good to chat. So what you can do is you can create a Zoom room, and if you click on invite, sorry, I think it's invite, yes. Well, you know what? If you click to a certain place, there's like an option of adding a link to an external website, and then you can just paste your Zoom link, and then everyone within that room will be redirected to a Zoom meeting. So then if I want to join later, I see that, I don't know, Enrico and other people are chatting about something that interests me, and I jump to that office, I'll be redirected to a separate Zoom meeting. Okay. The last thing I want to say is that it can be non-trivial to decipher who you are from your Sokoko avatar. So what you can do is you go to edit your profile, so you can put your name, something more intelligible. You can change your color. Anyway, you can do some customization. So I would recommend you do that. So I think that, yeah, and the final thing is a thank you, because our Sokoko subscription was assisted largely by the Cosmology from Home conference organizers. So I just want to thank them one by one by name. So these are Sean Hotchkiss, Nico Sarcevic, Ben Wallish, Matthias van der Wild, and Yan Yuan Zhang. So thank you very much. All right, so I think that's all I have to say. So I suggest we get going. Or you want to give a couple more minutes, Enrico?
I think we should wait at 1 o'clock to start the talk as per schedule. So if people are logging in at that time, it starts on time.
Do you have anything else to say? I think
just some of you have been asked to chair either a talk or a discussion. If you remember, which one or what talks are going to be discussed or what the timing is. We have an up-to-date timetable on the website. And the idea is to keep every live talk to about 50 minutes, have 10 minutes questions about the talk, and then smoothly transition into the discussions of other pre-recorded talks. We schedule about a 15-minute break after every discussion before the next block. But of course, because it's online, if people are exhausted, they can take their break. And the other thing that I wanted to make sure that people appreciate is that we have only, I think, 5 hours of like scheduled active time in the timetable, but all the remaining time has been left empty for spontaneous interactions among participants. So if it is 10 a.m. for you in Europe and you want to chat with someone, you just turn on your Sococo app and see who's around, as you would do in an actual workshop, and you see if there is someone in this room and you just go and chat to them. So the Sococo will be open all the time. If it is whatever time it is, 2 p.m. on the East Coast of the US, and the conference is over, you can still go there and chat with people. So the idea is that there will be more activity going on than the one that we have scheduled, in a similar way as to some workshop in which there are not so many talks, but people are encouraged to talk to each other. So that's of course up to you. And Slack is a good way to keep track of all the discussions. So we wanted to ask, feel free during all the seminars to post questions on Zoom. We will copy all the Zoom chat onto the appropriate Slack channel. So 2 days from now, if you want to remind yourself what the answer was that someone gave you, you have a record of that question and that answer. Please do not use Sococo for things that you want to keep a record of, because anything you will write there, we will not try to preserve it. So if you want, because now we have a lot of chats going on. There is Zoom, Sococo, and Slack. So we're going to try to keep it on Slack as the fundamental one. Okay. Okay, Guy, I would wait a couple of minutes, but I'm going to try to share my screen to see that all the tech works smoothly, if that's okay with you. You are the chair of the first talk.
Yeah, sounds good, but you should be able to, your co-hosts. I'll stop recording and start a new one for your talk.
Oh, good. So the file is not huge.
Yes.